afternoon, No Borders NBDR followers. Joseph Snyder, CEO of No Borders, coming to you again with one of our bi-weekly shareholder updates. As always, I do appreciate you guys taking the time and coming in to stay in touch with us, keep up to date with what our company is doing, and check in with us. So thank you guys so much for being here. It does mean the world to us to have you share this journey with us and care enough to log onto the internet and watch me talk, essentially, for whatever length of time. And we've actually played with the length of time on these. You know, we've gone down to 3 to 5 minutes. And all the way up to, I don't know, 30 or 40 minutes of ramblings, and there seems to be a happy medium somewhere in the middle. So we're trying to shoot for that, you know, between 15 and 20 minutes of information and concentrated value to communicate what we're doing and what we're working on over here at No Borders to you guys. Make sure everybody is as up to date as possible with the things that we can share and the things that we've been doing. So thanks again for coming. And so with that, I'm going to jump right in. As you know, and I've shared the products over and over and over, No Borders Naturals, we are hitting milestone after milestone, and I'm very happy with everything that's going on there. We have been growing the product line there. We've been growing the customer base, growing the lists around that, as well as Metadent Supplies, working to impact these verticals in the real world with phenomenal products and generate increased revenues with that. So that's obviously been a big focus of the organization for the last 6 months as we looked at the landscape and said, okay, we need to be operating businesses that we can apply technologies to, and we need to be operating real world businesses that are generating cash and revenues in the immediate term, so that we can additionally use those businesses as examples of technological disruption and superior deployment of technologies, whether that's marketing or customer retention or data security or supply chain analysis or supply chain security, whatever that application is, that we have real world examples that we own and control and have needs for to address. And so that is a core underlying focus of reasons that we made the investments and the commitments and took the cycles with these businesses that we have. And we're very happy with the results. Things are going very well pretty much across the spectrum. And on those results, one of the things that we're working for is to generate the lowest cost for customer acquisition as we possibly can. And, customer acquisition in a digital economy is, the death knell or the success factor, really, for whether or not a product line is sustainable, for whether or not something has the capital to grow. And so with that, we are looking at how do we bring people in, educate them about the products, educate them about our service, educate them about our product line, explain that value proposition, cross through the purchase barriers and the wallet barrier, whatever you want to call it, and then do a re-engagement and have a customer for a long time, right? So there's customer acquisition cost, and then there's lifetime customer value. Right? What are these customers worth to the organization over the lifetime of them being a customer of the organization? And both of those things are impacted by a lot of different variables, right? And one of the variables on customer acquisition cost is ranking for organic search keywords. And this is something that I really wanted to share with you guys today. This is in my opinion, absolutely newsworthy. I don't know that this is a press release kind of a thing for us. We've got some stuff that's coming down the pipe that's very press release-ish-y. That's not a word. But ranking first in organic search for keywords around our subject matters, around our verticals, is a powerful tool in us acquiring free customers and in driving down our overall customer acquisition costs across the board. Because what this allows us to do, and by the way, we're very happy to announce, and I am officially announcing that the company has managed to successfully achieve first place search engine ranking for organic, that's unpaid, search results on several of our brands and product keywords on several different platforms. So We're talking about keywords in spaces such as security token offerings, equity token project, some blockchain keywords, definitely some CBD keywords and product-specific CBD keywords, as well as a myriad of keywords around the dental space and specific dental products. That workload is something that the teams at No Borders Labs have been deeply focused on for the entire duration of the launching of these brands, right? This goes all the way back to our reverse merger in March of 2018 and bringing all of our search engine optimization, data optimization, data compilation, content compilation, social media integration, social media content compilation, all of these pieces of the puzzle, and doing them in a strategic and structured and focused way repeatedly over and over and over every single time. And what that has done is it has established us in the space around some of the blockchain things and some of the equity token or security token type things. And these are things that we believe are really interesting and fun technologies and amazing tools that are the future of how, and we've said it before, real estate finance and bond offerings and property title transfer, and in some whole cases, currency is transacted and owned and stored and everything else like that. We believe that smart contracts are potentially a better way for people to execute contracts and to have clarity of the rules and regulations and disbursements and things like that, right? So that work on establishing our brands and establishing our presence in these verticals as subject matter experts is a long road to hoe. And again, we're not talking about, you know, esoteric areas that nobody else is interested in. We're competing in really highly competitive spaces, and CBD highly competitive, blockchain just incredibly broad and diverse amount of data and websites and people doing different things with it. Dental, I mean, this is an ancient industry with really entrenched existing players, and we're able to come in, and it's been about 6 months. We're halfway into a full year, content engagement strategy cycle with these particular brands, but we're a year in on some of the blockchain stuff and some of the equity token or security token stuff. And so we today have done No Borders Labs and his teams and the content teams and Francine Hardaway and all of the people who put so much time and energy and personal power into these different pieces have put us in a position where we are selling products today off of organic search, going through Bing or going through Google, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that is in multiple brands. Right now today, we have inbound search from organic search where we are showing up first, second, third on the web page without paying for PPC ads. And that makes an incredible differential to the value of the brand, right? Over time, these things compound on each other and they grow on each other. But also to, like I said at the beginning, this customer acquisition cost piece of the variable puzzle that's really, really important, right? What it costs us to bring somebody on. And then there's this other piece of that puzzle, right? How do you make sure that the customer engagement is amazing? How do you make sure that the customer experience is amazing? How do you ensure that product quality? And I think I'm very proud to say that both the full No Borders Naturals product line, which is I'll take the Pepsi challenge against anybody. You know, please, if you're on YouTube and you want your CBD oil instead of mine or your balm instead of, I'll take that challenge. Let's go, right? And let's have some social media fun doing it while we're at it, by the way. So, you know, we have to fill that slot there once you have customer acquisition with really fantastic products and really fantastic service. There's a magic sauce there that really works. And there's a magic sauce there that allows for scaled growth and scaled market penetration and some very, very interesting rewards overall, especially for us in the structure that we have, right? We have a somewhat unique structure. We're a Nevada publicly traded company, and our subsidiaries are operating in these other industries and building their own brands in there, and that's adding value to the whole, right? So it's a lot of fun there. These are long-term rewards from free traffic. And that's a fantastic reality. To back that up and to make sure that back end is as amazing as it can be, and that our lifetime customer value gets as high as we can possibly get it, um, we have really put a lot of work into bringing on our customer support teams and growing out that support base within the organization itself to cover both No Borders Naturals and Medident Supplies, both. And so to talk about that, to talk about some of the customer service that we're doing, I brought in Nick Harrington. Hey, Nick, say hello.
Hey, how's it going, Joe? Hey, everybody.
So, Nick has been with the company for quite a while, and Nick and I have worked one-on-one together for many cycles, going through these different processes, going through these different systems. This isn't just me over here working with our Pubco side and everything else, and hoping that things go well, right? We're sitting down and we're defining systems, and we're testing hypotheses, and we're testing events around the country in real time. I was in southern Utah while we had another event going on in northern Mexico, while Nick had another event going on in New York last weekend. And that's the kind of scaled market penetration testing that is going to set us apart from our competitors, and is also going to be very impactful for us over time with brand recognition and with the scalability of the brand, because we're taking the time on the ground to go launch these pop-up stores. This is something that I do myself, and I engage directly with the consumer and say, how does this work for you, and how do you feel? And the feedback that we get is amazing. But to support all of that work, we have to be able to answer the phone, right? And we have to be able to respond to emails and to answer customer tickets and to handle, whatever questions or issues come up. And so we've been working very hard on that. And so Nick, tell us a little bit about, what you've been doing over the last few weeks, and some of the folks and what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for having me. Hello, everybody. So we've been pretty in depth last few weeks. As Joe said, we started off, Joe and I, on these systems, really laying a foundation of what we wanted these systems to do for us, do for the platforms we're building them on. Medident Naturals as well, and really taking all that customer service inquiries we were having, taking some inbound sales, and have our catch-all be there for everybody, and along with really expand our outreach. So we've been building these out, Joe and I, and then slowly but surely bringing everybody on. Been bringing on a couple of customer service people with some onboarding these past couple of weeks, along with some sales people, each one doing their own thing in their respective realm. But it's nice because each one also touches a different point of another person. So the customer service realm has some really nice things, in talking to people and within the dental industry that relates to our salespeople, that creates a follow-up within there. If they were talking to something, in the dental industry, a doctor wanted, we have some great systems that just loops everybody in, keeps a great contact. And, customers have been giving us amazing feedback. I mean, response times are just really doing good in the first few weeks. So, we can only see that getting better. We're really laying that fundamental level down in both customer service and sales, and really starting from the ground, building up and just scaling to just a level that, while we are doing these events, while we are, each person in a different state, the customer service is running well, and things are just living and breathing in a great way.
That's awesome. And I want to communicate to everybody out there that's watching this how much I appreciate the work that Nick has put in on this. Nick and I worked really closely together, Nick and myself and Chris and Cynthia, all to get to a point where we felt like we had replicatable systems that we could identify failure points, respond quickly. And so we've, Chris and the teams at No Borders Labs have done phenomenal jobs of integrating things across diverse platforms that weren't really designed to be integrated, and making sure, this ideology that we have about being a remote work company, some of these roads haven't actually been paved yet. I'm not saying they've never been traveled. Other companies have done remote work. There's a lot of outsourcing in the world today, but we're looking at these things and saying, how do we multi-stack the staffing value, right? How do we get coverage for an inbound hour, right, while making sure that there's an ancillary value proposition, there's an outbound sales call, there's social media content creation, there's some sort of a customer re-engagement cycle, some ancillary value that goes in there, and how do we stack those things together, and then how do we stack them together on a completely remote work team with multiple brands.
Right. The fun part.
That's the fun part. And, we've built a series of systems that we're still searching for failure points on, absolutely, and looking to improve continually. That's the Kaizen mentality from Japan, continual improvement, continual forward motion. But we have some phenomenal people who care, and we have phenomenal systems that allow us to extract all of the available data that we can see and touch and think of, as well as make sure that we're ensuring a fantastic customer experience. We want people to be delighted in doing business with the brands that NBDR owns, whatever vertical that may be in. And to do that, we have taken these cycles and made these investments and doubled down on these ideas, and the data shows us that it's working, right? The data shows us very clearly that the steps that we take yield higher sales results. And we're very happy to be in the position today, 10 days from the end of Q2, knowing that we're going to be able to report impressive increases in revenue growth for the company across the board. That the things that we're doing are growing, they're growing quickly, and they're being impacted by strategic moves that we put into place, systems that we've put into place, where we can directly track and say, hey, you know what? This action yields us another 10% on our growth curve, and we can really see where that scales out over a 30-day, 90-day, 180-day period of time. So, Nick, I really do appreciate the work that you've been doing. You've been so hands-on with everybody that's come in. There's a whole process of engagement that I take and that our team takes when we're interviewing and talking with people. But there's really no way to quite describe how much time it really takes per day to spend hour after hour onboarding people and working through those questions and managing all of that. So we really do appreciate it. Is there anything about what you've been doing in the last 2 weeks, and what you've been seeing there on the ground, dealing directly with customers, dealing directly with our new support teams and service teams who are then dealing with customers, that you think our shareholders would like to know about, or anything you want to brag about, I guess?
Well, definitely seeing a great reaction to the wholesale program. With that additional staff, we really have been pushing, the outreach, as well as,
So it's on No Borders Naturals.
On Naturals,
for
our No Borders Naturals wholesale. Yeah. So, that's been something we've really been trying to dig into and just make sure that, everybody that is inquiring about it has all their information. That may be a multi-step process, which means a customer service representative or a sales representative taking in the inbound, giving them that general information, and then escalating it to a level 2 salesperson that really goes into depth of what the retailer finds most suiting for their store, what CBD products they want to be educated on about, and seeing what fits where. So having just these last couple of weeks with people taking that in and reaching out to other retailers for wholesale, it's been great reaction on that. And even on the dental side, just doing a whole bunch of onboarding for new vendors and just meeting a whole bunch of great new people in the industry, really covering every layer in the dental industry and making our way more into the medical and vet verticals as well. And working with some of our new reps there, and they're picking that up great. You know, they love the people we're meeting in the dental industry, and just keeping an all around good level of contact in there.
No, it's fantastic, and the work that you guys have done has been fantastic. The results, just the immediate results that we get to see from that work is fantastic, and it helps when you're playing with great product lines.
Absolutely.
We have really solid suppliers in the medical equipment industries. We have relationships that give us excellent products at fair prices, and that's a solid win there. And then on the natural side, like we said, this product line is something that we're very, very personally proud of. And Nick is one of these people that, along with myself, he stands on the ground in person at a thing and shares this with people, and he gets to see them come back half an hour later.
Oh yes, very often.
Very often.
Yeah.
And they come back and it's like, wow, I feel better. And what is that worth? Right? What is that engagement with a person who now feels better and tells everybody else around them who's also looking at your booth necessarily that they feel better, and then those people get to go experience it in really what is a limited amount of time in between, right? You're not trying something and then seeing if 3 weeks later how you feel.
Right.
Typically we see what, about half an hour?
Yeah, half an hour, sometimes less. But
you know
it's quick. I mean, same day usually. Sometimes it'll be a nighttime thing. We'll give somebody gummies to go to sleep, and they'll wake up like, "Hey, that was the best sleep I ever had." But it's nice, you're at an event and somebody with that acute hip discomfort that they had from a hip replacement 5 years ago tried a couple things and failed, and they try some of our rub, and not only does it smell great, but 30 minutes later they're like, "Hey, I was walking around a lot more comfortable than I was, an hour ago or so." So it's awesome.
It's an awesome engagement. It's a lot of fun to do. We may have strategically picked some really cool places to do it in as well.
Okay.
Because if you're gonna share it with the world, make sure the world's beautiful.
Absolutely.
But I am very proud of you. I appreciate the time that you've taken here today to share this with our followers and with our shareholders.
Great.
And thanks so much, man. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks for having me, Joe. And then I'll talk to all you guys later and see you on social.
Later, man.
Bye.
That brings us to where we are today. Sales are growing. Our subject matter expert position in blockchain, in equity tokens, in CBD, in dental is solid, right? When we're getting organic search results, when we're getting free inbound lead generation from search engines, because we've done the work, because we've put down the pavement and built the road to run on, we're able to run forward. And so the businesses are growing. Those things are going really well. We do have several projects in the works. I was actually anticipating that one of them would be ready to be announced already this week. That is not a reality, and you guys all know I don't announce things until they're really, really things. So, but I will say this: we have always stood on the fact that we believe that cryptocurrency is a powerful form of payment and wealth transfer and commerce in the future. We have always come down and said very clearly that we understand blockchain at a level that we think most business people don't understand it. By the way, the number of contacts that we get inbound asking us questions about blockchain and legal structures and token offering structures and all these kind of things says that we're set up in that space as subject matter experts in that space continually to this day for that work that we have done. And we believe that we understand this in a way that is a little bit unique, and the market seems to kind of agree with us. So we are working on things around there because we see these opportunities. And we believe that bringing some of these projects and some of these partnership projects to the forefront and executing them is something that is in our immediate future, and is something that we believe is very unique and very interesting. And putting together the structures and finalizing details for that is what I'm currently in the midst of doing. So, you know, we will be working on those things and finalizing, MOUs or contracts and things like that, so that we can sit down with you guys and have the whole thing and have the press release and maybe even have a live, press day for some of these things. We're working very closely with some of our partners who we've known for quite a while, who are as deep or as interested or as vested in these spaces as we are. And we're going to be bringing some very fun, very impactful ways to use some of these technologies and different things in different structures out very, very soon. So I think that the timing is right. If we're looking at the market and we're looking at the political cycles and we're looking at all of these things, for us to kind of come back to this piece that we've been continually nurturing throughout the cycle. And while we're growing these businesses and while we're impacting these verticals and while we're attacking this, to come in with these other pieces of expertise that we have and experience that we have around real estate and around crypto and around blockchain and around structured finance vehicles and all these kinds of fun things. But we're not going to announce anything until the X's have been signed and the T's have been crossed and the I's have been dotted. So on that note, get your CBD at nobordersnaturals.com. If you know a dentist, tell them about MetaDent Supplies. These businesses are growing. We're having a fantastic time. And we're playing with some additional things that look like they're going to be a lot of fun. And I cannot wait to share them with you. Thank you so much for coming. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as always, you can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram. I'm at NBDR CEO. The company is at No Borders NBDR. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.